Hello. So I've been asked to do a project to share with you about how to make melt and pour soap get the great swirls in it. Now there is suspending soap base that you can get, but we're going to try and take a standard melt and pour soap base today and turn it into a really beautiful swirling soap base. Now I've never tried this before. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And this is take 3 on this video. We've been interrupted by delivery men and postmen and all sorts of things. So I've actually already prepared a little bit of what we're working with because I've started the video a few times. So what I've got in these containers is a white soap base, a melt and pour soap base. So the one that I'm using is a Renascent ultra white soap base, and I'm also using a Renascent Bath Body ultra clear soap base. Now there's another product that you can get and it's called soap dough powder. And so what I've done is I've taken the soap dough powder and I've taken a bit of the powder into the white soap and I've just mixed it carefully, not enough to get all the froth and bubbles. What I'm trying to do is use the soap dough powder as a thickening agent. So I'll just add a little bit more to this one. So just a little bit of the soap dough powder into the soap, melt and pour soap base. And when you stir it, you just want to mix it through without foaming it all up, without getting all the bubbles in there. And I'm sorry I can't give you a close-up on this. It's just an idea. Let's see if it works together, shall we? Okay, so I'm just mixing that through. I've also mixed it into the clear. Now, obviously, the soap dough powder is a white powder. So once I mix it into the clear soap base, I'm just using a little silicone cup for that. It doesn't look clear. It's still translucent, but it's got a little bit of a cloudy effect to it. Also, what we're going to use is this really amazing soap mold. So I'll bring it over so that you can have a look at it. So inside here, it's got these perspex or acrylic dividers, which you can move, and it's got the I don't know what you call it, like grooved ends of the acrylic. So you can slide them in at any place you like. So I've made a gap about a finger width there and slightly wider and much wider on that side. Now the idea with these soap molds is that you can pour in your 3 colors and you can, it's brand new, so I'm just making sure there's no little bits of acrylic in there. You can get your 3 colors in there. It's going to get a little bit messy, but what I thought we'd do is do it with the soap dough powder mixed into the soap and see what happens. So at this point, none of these have fragrances or colors. I've just put them in the microwave for a couple of minutes and mixed the soap dough powder through. So I'm going to scent them with the same fragrance. So what I'm using for the fragrant oil is Kakadu Plum. It's an Australian native fragrance and it's really fresh and fruity, and I'm just going to scent all of them with the Kakadu Plum. With the clear one, I'm going to add just a little bit of gold mica into that. Oh, nearly got the whole jar of it. We don't want to do that. Let's just take a bit. Okay, mix that through, and that'll give me a very beautiful golden soap. So I'll just get that mixed through that one. Hopefully you can see it when it pours, and then we'll be able to see how it goes. The video camera might be a little bit in the wrong way for you to see that. I might see if I can move it a little bit for you in a second. Okay, so with one of these I'm going to leave them white, and the other one I'm going to make pink. So I'm just using a Renascent Bath Body pink pigment. Just add a few drops into that one. Now let me just come and see if I can move the camera so that you can see the table just a little bit more. Hopefully that won't topple over. Yep, that should allow you to just see that a little bit better. Okay, and now we'll just mix the pink pigment into the pink soap. It's not feeling quite viscous enough for me. Now, of course, you can swirl by just getting your soap at the right temperature, but we're trying to just see if there's a workaround. So I'm just going to add a little bit more soap dough powder to this soap, and I haven't worked out the exact quantities because I don't even know if it's really going to work or not. We've never done it before. It's just an idea. We'll find out together. Okay. And if it's a fail, well, it'll be a funny colour soap, never mind. But there is a trick when you're making swirled soap, and it's in the cut rather than in the actual swirl itself. So let's have a look. And I should have a round stick, like a chopstick or something. And of course, I've only got my wooden icy pole sticks, but never mind, we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm going to have to work reasonably quickly here, so you're going to have to just, I'll move that back a little so you can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the big section for the pink, the small section for the gold, and the in-between section for the white. Now, when I've mixed that soap dough powder, it's got little white clumps in it at the moment. It's not fully dispersed. I think a fork would get them all out, but I'm in the classroom and I don't have a fork at the moment. The other way you could do it is just put it back in the microwave for another minute and it should make it a little bit hotter and melt it through. But you know what, my soap has a few white speckles in it. It won't hurt. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so here's where it's about to get really messy. You want to make sure all three of them are ready to be poured all at once. And I've got a plastic mat here to put everything on. And whilst your dividers in your mould are going to stop those colours from blending, you're going to have to work fairly quickly because they are still going to blend a little bit. All right, so here we go. Let's go with the pink and white at the same time. Just bear with me. Fill that up as much as I possibly can get them in there at the same height. Not going to use all the white because it's the wrong height. It's not blending much. It's going underneath just a smidge, but not a lot. And then through the middle part here, I'm going to pour the gold, and I just need to get it up to approximately the same height of the other two colours. That looks good. Okay, now here's where it's going to get really messy. Those dividers have to actually come out of this soap mold. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, give that a wiggle and lift it straight up and out and onto my plastic tray. The same with the white one, up and out and straight onto the plastic tray. They're going to be messy. I'll peel that off later. Now at the moment I've got a soap that's got pink, gold and white. So let's get a little swirl happening through that. So just drag it from one side to the other and one side to the other to get the swirl through. And like I said, I'm really not sure whether that's going to work or not, but we've swirled it. I will let it set. We'll come back and unmold it and then we'll do the cut. Looks okay. Colours are holding together a little bit. I'll bring the camera over and see if you can have a look at that. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Oops, a daisy. There we go. So you can see the colours aren't really blending. They are kind of staying together reasonably well. So the problem with using micas is that quite often they will shake and blend while they're sitting there. So we'll come back in and as soon as that's set, I'll give it an hour or so and we'll come back and see how it goes for the unmolding.